Hey everyone, it's the Shnakey back again with another video, and it's been an unusual week in the world.
I want Szechuan sauce! Where's my Szechuan sauce?
Yeah, so that actually happened. I hope he was doing that ironically, but even at that there was like a mile-long queue outside McDonald's for people to get their hands on this Szechuan sauce. Just don't know what it is about Rick and Morty and how it creates this air of mental illness. But having said that, other interesting things happen in the world as well, and I got my hands on Shadow of War, which is the game that you're seeing on your screens right now. If you don't know what Shadow of War looks like at this stage, I'd be quite worried, seeing as Warner Brothers and Monolith and whoever's involved in this game made it their duty to create 500 or so promotional videos, including actual gameplay leading up to the game, so kind of ruined the surprise for a lot of people. I kept myself away from that promotional material, hence why the experience is a bit more fresh for me. So I'm on the prologue mission here at the moment, and excuse me if I'm terrible because I'm trying to remember a lot of the mechanics of the game. For instance, there was a bit of a cut a second ago because I basically spent literally 2 minutes just figuring out how to drop down from ledges again, bringing this guy over here to meet his fate at the end of the cliff. Shadow of Mordor held a special place in my heart, mainly because it was one of the first games I experienced on the next-gen platform, one of the open world games, should I say, and because of that I really wanted to get my hands on Shadow of War, and that's despite all of the negativity that it's harbored because of the microtransactions and loot boxes and all that, and even YouTubers who I watch quite regularly and would respect their opinions quite a lot, like Jim Sterling, had a lot of negative things to say about this game. But overall I had to try it out because at the end of the day it's a AAA title, and I always know that Monolith are going to bring something good to the table, and they have here, because this game is fucking amazing so far. I'm really enjoying it. Also have to try and keep my cursing to a minimum because it seems as though YouTube is flagging my videos as not suitable for advertisers, so I'm going to try and keep this clean and PG as possible, but the game itself will probably get pulled. So as you're seeing here is me getting to grips with the stealth mechanics, and yeah, I'm kind of just playing around with them as best as I can. I see a guy there come into my view, and I'm really lost without my wraith vision, which basically makes you be able to see the enemies a lot clearer. So I see a guy coming along here, and I'm going to go for the stealth kill. So there we go. I drop down, he sees me, and I think this is where I kind of fuck up a little bit. Or do I get it back again? I'm not 100% sure. No, there we go. Okay, and I think I chain a few together here. So this, as I said, is the prologue mission, and yeah, I just was enjoying getting back into the stealth aspect of the game. I mainly played Shadow of Mordor in a stealthy way. Obviously there was parts of the game where you had to use brute force and use the Batman style combat system. And if you're wondering why I'm not getting to enemies a bit quicker here, it's because I forget that you can actually kind of stealth run or stealth sprint by holding down A on the Xbox. So apologies for that. I just forgot momentarily about that being a mechanic in the game. So just taking a look around here, admiring the scenery. Even though we're underground, still a really good looking game. And that's one thing I wanted to bring up here early on, is that although the graphics at first glance may not be that discernibly different from Shadow of Mordor, there are little things here and there. There are lighting effects that have improved. The character models are definitely a lot better, and the orcs themselves, their personalities and their variations and things like that has been improved as well. So there's a lot more variety in the actual gameplay, and the voices last game in Shadow of Mordor were one of the things that really made it stand out, and they've improved on that again here with lots of different accents and orcs with different personalities and traits. So yeah, overall really good. So I see a dive down here, and this is my first experience of the actual hand-to-hand combat in the game. I think I kill a few more guys through stealth here, but it gets to the point where I actually kind of have to engage them eventually, and it was good because I wanted to get back into the feel of the Batman style combat. And I say Batman style combat because of course the Arkham games made that free flow combat sort of, I suppose, not commonplace, but very popular to use in a lot of these games. So I'm engaging these guys here. Controls are kind of coming back to me again. Y to parry, and I'm making use of my sword play here. Again, don't have a lot of my wraith abilities because, well, you'll figure that out when you get the game yourself at this point. Again, liking the orcs, the variation, we've got some new types of orcs. Take these guys out here. and remembering now that if I press right trigger and the attack button, I can execute them on the ground. And this is the last guy here. And then I also remembered that I can drain them and pop their heads if they're low on health. So that was the end of the prologue section there, and then I moved on, and I'm going to show you some gameplay from a little bit later on in the game. And we see a group of orcs here, and this is getting you into the arrow mechanic again, and I was kind of getting to grips with that. So you get your bow back. I get my little tutorial on the screen here as to what's happening, and then it actually, what it does is it just shows you how to use it again. So again, me a little bit rusty here shooting that. There we go, that's that guy, another guy, and another guy, and I think it takes me 2 arrows to kill this guy. So overall, you know, the arrow gameplay, or the bow gameplay should I say, is really, really good. Jumped a little bit forward here again because this was actually my first battle with an orc commander, and this guy is Creamp, I think was his name, and I actually spent ages getting around this gang of guys so I could execute him stealthily, and then I quickly realized this guy actually can't be one killed with stealth, and so I realized I would have to actually engage him and instead take on all his guys. But that was good again because it got me another opportunity to actually get into the combat system. Combat system is smooth as it was in the last game. If you played Shadow of Mordor, you're not going to feel too out of place here. It's very, very similar as it would be because it's using the same engine. This one comes into play here. It doesn't really do a whole lot from what I can remember. I do the brunt of the attacking, and now I'm going after him because I realise he's stunned and I want to get as many hits in on him as possible. I think he got himself back together here, and that's the great thing about this. In the combat system here, you never really feel like you're, you know, fully one-upping your opponent. They always have that last bit of fight left in them. He's obviously saying this little piece here.
Stories about how you can't die. Well, let's find out if they're true.
So again, nice bit of dialogue there, and they do sound really, really good. I always liked the way that the orc captain sounded when they confronted you. So that's him gone, that's him killed. I think the last part of the gameplay here now was one of the missions where I was basically running through the city and I was killing orcs as I go. So that was what this part was all about. Remember, and then again you have to top up your arrows, which gives you your elven shot. That's been taken over from the last game as well. And I'm also liking the change in setting as well. Battling in cities is a lot more interesting than out in the wilderness, which a lot of the other game, Shadow of Mordor, was based in. So it's a fresh approach, and it just makes things a little bit different and varied. You're also fighting now alongside allies and NPC characters, which you can see there, and that again just makes for a bit more interesting combat. You have another target that you could accidentally hit, and it just means that it makes certain situations a little bit easier as well. So I'm liking that side of things quite a bit. So as you can see here, take out the last guy. That's him finished, and now I think I have to make my way on to the next stage. So this is very, very reminiscent. Actually, I think that this reminded me of is, I don't know if you remember the old Lord of the Rings PlayStation 2 games, when you were fighting in that in Return of the King. There was a stage, there was one of the levels based in one of the cities, and you had to basically make your way through and hold off against the orcs. The whole atmosphere kind of reminded me of that, and I had some great times playing the two-player, the co-op game on the PS2 with my friends, so just kind of brought back good memories in that sense. Took that guy out there, made my way onwards, and I think here again I go for a few kind of half stealth kills, and I remember now that I can really use that right trigger and attack to take enemies out quickly. I can't really comment on the pay-to-play aspect of the game yet because I just haven't progressed far enough, and I might see more of that coming into play the further I go on. But from my understanding, the people that are complaining about the loot crates and all that side of things don't like the grinding aspect of games, and some people don't, but I actually quite enjoy that. You know, the Destiny style grinding system where you have to do a lot of repetitive style missions and, you know, hunt down enemies over and over again to collect special types of loot. You know, I kind of like that. Maybe call me a sadist, I don't know, but that's kind of appealing to me, so maybe I will like it, you know, because of that. But let's be honest, this is a AAA title, it's one of the biggest releases of the year. It's going to be good in terms of presentation, you know, in terms of gameplay. That's all going to be good because we know Monolith produce good games, so that can't really be argued. What can be argued is that maybe over time this whole pay-to-play thing may become a bigger issue, and what I mean by that is obviously spanning across to, you know, gaming in general and other platforms. It was introduced originally, all this microtransactions and pay to win with the mobile games, and it's kind of come into every aspect of gaming now. But we'll see. You know, it's hard to really say what's going to happen, you know, down the line. It's a very, very complex situation. Definitely will probably become a part of everyday gaming life. Guy got me there because I was too busy draining the guys around me, and I think coming up to the end of the video here now and the end of the footage that I've captured on a whole, I hope to play this game a lot more over the weekend because I'll have some spare time away from work, and I'm going to try and get maybe some more quality footage recorded for you guys and put together a second video when my opinions maybe have improved or changed, should I say, on the game as a whole. I also want to put out another Fight Night Champion video, and it's actually a really, really unusual. It's actually a request that I've had on how to unlock the characters like Tyson and Ali in the bare knuckle mode, and that seems like a, you know, a really vintage style video, as that game has been out for a long, long time now. It's 6 years old, but it's obviously something people want, and as a result of that I'm probably going to go ahead and do it, because that's what the subscribers want. Give the people what they like. Off with the hand, or the arm rather, and off with the head. Love that cutscene. And there's another one. So coming up here now to the part of the video where I get to use that spear. They've got a different name for it in the game, but basically it's a weapon that allows you to take out large groups of enemies at once. Sort of like a big sweeping attack. Badly wanted in probably some of the situations you're going to come up against in Shadow War, because a lot of the gameplay obviously being based, you know, as was the last game, around big numbers of enemies around you at once. Take them all out and then progress on to the next objective. So here it is. It's a heavy attack, and I'll be looking forward to using that on some of the orcs as time goes on. So coming to the end of the video here, and I kind of want to wrap up what I think about the game so far. I've enjoyed the first hour or so I've played, and I take games slowly. I tend to, you know, progress slowly and try and enjoy them as much as possible. But as I said, I'm going to try and use this weekend to get as much gameplay recorded as possible and just tell you my opinions and hopefully bring you a more comprehensive review in another few weeks' time. But you know, it's rare anymore that I get time to sit down and really enjoy the games that I'm playing. Unfortunately, that's the whole thing about becoming an adult. You don't get as much time to do those things. I kind of wish I was a child again, but unfortunately that is life, and that's the way things go. We all find ourselves having to do a lot more adult things these days, and I obviously would love to sit around with my underpants all day playing this game instead of having to go to work, but that's just the way things are, and I have to go with the flow. And leading that point on, because I have to do adult things, it means that I can't upload as often as I want to and as regularly as I want to, so turn on notifications to find out when my next video is going to be coming out, so you can be the first to watch it. Also, like the video and leave a comment down below so we can get a bit of a discussion going, and don't forget, as I always say, subscribe, because we're all going to die anyways. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.